According to the general theory of relativity, gravity is not a force. There are no gravitational fields. Gravity is kind of an illusion.
What the hell did you just say?
Gravity is kind of an illusion. In general relativity, there is no mystery. All objects appear to fall the same way because, well, they're not accelerating.
Oh, son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Gravity is just like that force. It doesn't actually exist.
Say what?
But in general relativity, there is no gravitational force. There is no gravitational field. Gravitational fields do not exist.
Prepare yourself.
Ball-tards.
In standard Newtonian physics, we draw your weight force, the force of gravity pushing you down, and the normal force from the floor pushing you up. We say these forces are equal and opposite, so there's no net force on you, so you are not accelerating. But in general relativity, gravity is not a force. You have no weight, so the only force on you are these normal forces pushing you up. Gravity is not a force. There are no gravitational fields. You have no weight. Well, they're not accelerating. Gravity is kind of an illusion. Gravity is just like that force. It doesn't actually exist.
Hello, baby.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. The bird's a winner.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Got a great one lined up for you today. As far as you know, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. Before we get to Discord, let me just announce this. Some technical difficulties have been happening for the past couple shows. Listen, it appears the show just shuts down just on a whim. The computer's not overloaded or anything. It just pop, gone, and it's happened the last 3 shows. Now, if it happens again during this show, I am not coming back. I'm not going to try to re-upload the stream or anything. It's done. And the show is done. That is Ballbusters and QE Live until I get the computer fixed. I just want to warn you, I'm not coming back. So if it all of a sudden quits, you know what happened, right? And then I'm going to have to, farm it out to Singapore to try to get it fixed because something's not right. I just want to let you guys know that. But we're going to pretend that nothing's going to happen, and we're going to get on with Pummelin Petey the Peckerhead. Okay? But before that, let's get into Discord and get the uptake on from Betty, the beautiful Betty Van Velsen. Go.
Uptake for what?
Uptake, her take, whatever, take.
You want to know the weather here?
No, I really don't.
Okay. Well, then I have not much to say.
You don't got much to say. You usually have much to say.
No, I haven't. Maybe I got my 10,000 words out already.
Yeah, in text.
In text?
Yeah. It wasn't 10,000 though.
Well, I can have other people to talk to than you, right?
I understand that. Yes, I am not that taken up with myself to realize that you don't have other people you could talk to.
Ah, good. Well, that makes it much better, right?
Yeah, it does. Who we got in Discord? I haven't checked in there. A few minutes. 1 second.
Yeah, we got Adam Meakin.
Adam,
Adam.
sir.
Evening, guys. Sorry, caught me with sausage roll in my mouth.
We got you.
Yeah. Evening, everyone.
Evening. Did you get the technical situation?
Yeah. If you go, you go.
Ballbusters on Ballbusters, it was right at the end. I was just getting at. I had the mouse on stop streaming, and boom, gone. Computer just shut down. Tick. All I hear is.
I wondered what that was.
Yeah, tick.
Because you kept streaming. The stream didn't end because it was still waiting for you to see if you'd come back. So I wondered why it was doing that.
Yeah. Very irritating. Now, it's done that. I know this is shop talk, but this is important. It's done it one other time without me streaming. It was later in the evening. I think I was in Discord, and I was just talking, didn't have a lot of stuff up. So the computer's not overheating. I'm always checking it. It doesn't overheat anymore. From the last time I put the new fan in. So that was a long time ago. It's not overheating. It's just stopping. Ping! Gone. So, like I said, if it happens again, don't wait. Just go on your daily duties, and I won't be back until I get it fixed. So just want to let everyone know that. Good?
Okay, but what if nobody finds the problem with it?
They'll find the problem with it.
Oh, another computer, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's not the problem. That's the solution, isn't it?
No, that's not going to be the solution either, no.
Huh. Well, we have to do a GoFundMe to get another computer here.
Yeah, we probably would.
Oh, okay. We also got Neil on the panel. Hi, Neil.
Hello. How's it
Hey.
going?
Are you also eating?
What's that?
Are you also eating?
No, Adam said that because he wants to talk about food.
No, we're
on
not
to
talking
him.
about food today.
I've not had my tea. I've not, Neil. Honest, dude. I've literally had a bit because time's shifting again, isn't it?
Yeah, I knew that was
Yes,
going to be
it
a
has.
problem. Yeah.
When is it time shifting for you guys in England then, Adam?
Is it next week or the week after? I'm genuinely not sure. It's not
This Sunday, next Sunday for you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
27th, I think.
The last weekend, full weekend in March, in here, Holland.
Yeah, and another thing is there's going to be a lot of extended family interactions coming up for me over the next, I would say, 8 weeks. So we're going to have to dance around shows, ballbusters, just be on your toes. Be prepared, be flexible.
Family interactions.
Yes,
You
a
never
lot of
have
it.
those otherwise then?
Yeah, we do, but they're going to come rapidly. There's a number of them scheduled.
Okay. Yeah.
So I got people flying in.
Shooting, right?
I've got people flying in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it depends on their schedules. I just want to let you guys know. So there's a lot of admin out there. Just what Nathan Oakley needs.
Well, he did say you may begin, so.
Did he? Oh, is he here? Did he say you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, meanwhile, Earth is flat and we debunked all the claims Earth is a sphere.
Yep, we have every single one. We got a real belly laugher today. We got the peckerhead Petey. This guy, and thanks to Nathan, I would have never known about this. I was just shuffling through Skype, and he posts this video to me that unbeknownst to me, he didn't even watch. Right? So I click on it. I get in about 2 minutes, near the 3 minute mark, and I was dumbfounded how stupid it was. So, and then I did it again, and it really started to piss me off. So, Petey, like I told you, he posted something underneath one of my videos too. I think the exact same video he was talking about. So, BALLBUSTERS talking a little smack, like he's all that in a bag of chips. Meanwhile, he's your regular everyday retard, right? That I don't know. I don't think he should be picking up cans alongside of the road supervised even. He's even dumber than that. I'm going to show you here in a few minutes. Now, I only went 2 minutes, right? See, I gave it to Adam and to Brian, but I hadn't watched further than 3 minutes of the video. I really didn't need to. I didn't care because I was laughing too hard by that point. But you'd figure I'd watch the rest, but I just didn't. I was busy doing other stuff. I said, I'm just going to kill it right here. Right? And you'll see that in the next few minutes. But I think Adam wants to speak to it, and I don't know if Brian's here yet, but I think they want to speak to more things that he said that I'm unaware of because I hadn't watched it. So am I correct in that?
Well, I think we're both about at the 2 minute mark. I've not gone more. I said I assumed you was doing some, but I think we've both got different points from those 2 minutes.
I think
I
think Brian has different points because he was talking about something else. I'm sitting there, what the hell is this guy talking about? And then I thought about it. It struck me that he watched the whole video. I don't think I can't relate to that because I had to stop at 2:46 or whatever it was. You'll see why here in a few minutes. But it didn't, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old or something.
No, he said some other, he just showed how little he understood about the actual process of celestial navigation.
You talking into a can?
Sorry, I mean it. Sorry.
Sounds like he's in the can.
No, I'm out. I was standing in the room there. It's just, is this better? Yeah, he says some stupid stuff, and he actually tries to correct me on something to do with the size of Polaris or parallel light rays. It's just a stupid thing. But he makes some stupid claims. He doesn't understand certain parts of the process, and it's what's the term I've been using recently? It's arrogantly ignorant. That's how we describe this man.
Yeah. Brian, did you get the briefing before? Did you hear about the technical difficulties?
I didn't hear it, and I just joined a minute ago, so I wasn't on Skype, so I don't know anything.
All right, listen, for the past couple shows, I'll do it real quick. Past couple shows, my computer's just been ticking off, like boop, and I'd struggle to get back on. That's not going to happen again. So if it ticks off, if the stream ends, if I drop from Discord, you know that it's happened again. I'm not going to try to get the stream back up, and I will not go live again until I get the computer fixed. Good?
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Petey, do you reckon he's waiting for it to stop raining, and if it does, he's just going to switch his computer off?
That's what I think. I think he's setting us up, man. He's letting us know he's out of here.
Off with the bow and arrows.
You guys are so paranoid. No, I'm not shooting today. I've shot for the past 3 days. Today's an off day. This has nothing to do with archery.
Probably his computer won't be off now.
Probably his computer won't be.
Yeah, going offline now. You
I
just
thought
told me you weren't going to shoot, so there.
Oh, right. Since I said it, it's not going to happen this time. So Murphy, he's taking the day off?
Yep.
I see what you're saying. See, that's a unique. That's why Betty is so unique. She has these unique takes on things. They're from a different perspective. Sometimes I'm like, what the hell did she just say? And then I get it later.
You need a translator.
Yeah, I need a translator. And other times it's brilliant, and sometimes it's like numptified.
It's always brilliant in a way.
What was the one she did last week? She did one last week.
It's worse in text. Sometimes I'll write something and be expecting like a rational answer, and some just comes out of fucking left field. But after, it's funny, I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's a foreigner type of thing. I'm not seeing it. And then she explains it, and I said, oh, okay, now I get it. But that's some twisted friggin' view on things.
Twisted. Next, people are going to ask for some examples.
Yeah, it happened. They happen every day. It just happened this morning.
Every day? Come on.
It happened this morning. I'd go through it. Maybe on another day when we're not pummeling Petey's. So I want to get started with this. Now, I'm not sharing. So I'm going to wait until, let me put this up. Get this up on screen. I'll get it up and just wait for a few minutes because we're going to start in on this. Because I am a little paranoid that something's going to happen. Oh, man. Okay, so this is Petey. Now, I don't care how many subscribers he's got. I thought he had like 4, but he's got 12. It doesn't matter. I was never concerned with that. Numbers don't impress me much, right? It's the content of people's character I'm concerned with. Now, obviously, if Nathan wouldn't have showed me this or posted it, I wouldn't have even seen it. It's not going to happen. But he did, and I listened to it like the first couple minutes. And what this gentleman was doing was taking what we did on BALLBUSTERS. If you remember, Hoymar come on FED and posted this drawing right here. So we went over it on BALLBUSTERS and was laughing at it. Now, what Petey did, he wants the White Knight for Hoymar. I don't know if they know each other. It's irrelevant. Doesn't matter. But he decided to put his foot right in the bear trap, right? And he thinks he's all that in a bag of chips. And as all you know, when baltards think that they're actually retards, right? So we're going to show how this gentleman is retarded. Now, I'm going to start off with the first couple minutes. I'll say, that's all I got because I really don't need to pummel him anymore. And we'll do it in order. Brian, you'll be last, and then I'll let Adam, take over, and I will shift the video to wherever you like. Because like I said, I've only watched up to about 246-ish area. Right? So when I play it and stop, I am going to pause because there is a pause in YouTube so you guys can hear it. Okay? So we're not all discombobulated. All right? Everyone good? Yay?
Yay.
Yay. So let's see what this crayon-munching, pecker-headed Petey has to say. Right? Now remember, I gave you the context. You'll see the diagram. You've seen it on BALLBUSTERS. So here we go.
That's right. He hasn't moved it down to the center.
I know he hasn't.
No, you had it right before. This is the line of sight from the observer to the star. It's not the observer.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right here. Remember what he just said here. I'm not going to be dealing with this right now. I'm going to deal with this, my second point. But he said that this line right here from Numpty's drawing is the line of sight to the star. I say again, he's saying that this line right here, this vertical line coming off of Dingleberry, is his line of sight to a sphere. All right? That in mind. We're going to be stopping here shortly for an important point.
Observer's zenith. Just because the zenith line isn't drawn in doesn't mean to say that it's not there. I wonder if this will make you happy.
Yes, that will make us very happy, you frigging idiot peckerhead. So, and this is the drawing. This is the one that we were dealing with on BALLBUSTERS. Because Hoymar posted it, we posted it up, and we evaluated this diagram. And this diagram alone, you numpty dipshit. So, when you draw a line or make any alterations in the drawing that the BALLBUSTER team evaluated, Your entire case gets thrown out on its ear, sunshine, for being a straw man fallacy. Yeah, pecker-headed, peckerless, peckerwood, dumb fuck. I mean, my God. Are you that stupid? Yeah, that's rhetorical. You are. Oh, and by the way, where's the plane of the horizon? Why didn't you copy that in your little drawing? You had to take that out because this is utter ridiculousness from the dingleberry ball earth. Right? No one's looking up at a 45 to the horizon in the sky. Right? But I digress. You took this out, right? And then you added your little line, his zenith line, he's 45 degrees tilting backwards, right? And then you're going to say, well, why don't you just, if you just rotate this out here, he's not 45 degrees. Yeah, then he's got Bob's whore. He's looking at the horizon out in outer space. It's friggin' stupid. You're retarded. That's number one. We're going to get to number two here. Most Ricky Tick.
Are we... Oh, you started again?
Yeah, I start again. Just hold up. You'll get your chance.
Now we've got 53.86 for the angle of elevation, and we have the complementary angle of 36.14. Add these two numbers up and you get 90 degrees.
So what? It's meaningless. So what? What's your point? You don't have one. Continue.
Normally, you would take this 36.14 and multiply it by 60 in order to determine the distance from the observer to the GP.
What's he shoot? Where's the elevation angle to? The plane of the horizon?
Yeah. The horizon is now up at, 45 degrees up from the surface of the sphere.
I thought we've already established that this was the line of sight to the star.
That's where we're going to stop. He said it again. Folks, he's saying that this is the line of sight to the star. This is his observer's position. And this line right here is the line of sight to the star. The line of sight to the star, when using elevation angles, is the hypotenuse. You see this right here? This is from a naval warfare officer that was in charge of navigating a $1 billion warship, right? You see what he does here? You see the angle right over here? Between this, the hypotenuse, see, that is the line of sight going up to the star, right? And the hypotenuse, between the hypotenuse and the adjacent, the flat part right here, the horizontal plane, this is the opposite side of the triangle. That junction right there is where the GP is. Everyone's got that. The important point here right now is when the observer looks up, that line is actually the hypotenuse. So this is this crayon muncher's hypotenuse. If you're looking at each other right now dumbfounded, don't worry. You should be. This kid is an abject Dunning-Kruger pretender clown retard. Certifiable. So, as I said, the hypotenuse is your line of sight to the star. This is very simple. Again, from the naval commander, right? You see, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. The hypotenuse right here. That is his line of sight. Duh. See the sunglasses down here? Right? So he's looking up to the little birdie. The hypotenuse is the line of sight. He just said, this is the line of sight. This line. Like I said, which is retarded. Right? Which, like I said, comes down, forming the opposite side. See, it's the opposite side because it's the opposite side of the angle. Theta. See? This is the opposite side of the triangle. This comes down and forms the GP. It's the junction between the horizontal plane or the adjacent and the opposite coming down from the hypotenuse at 90 degrees. Everyone sees that. We've been over this plenty of times. Here we go again. The observer's line of sight to the star or whatever in the sky is the hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse for this numpty. This is the opposite that comes down, like I said, and joins at the junction of the flat horizontal baseline of adjacent, making a 90-degree. That's the GP. I know I've repeated that like 6 times, but you guys get the picture. Here it is again, right? Elevation angle, boom, down to the GP. If there's any question from the numpty's own resources, here we go again. You see the boat? That's you, peckerhead Peter. You're looking up to the star. That line right there is the hypotenuse. See, this guy doesn't even know what a triangle is. I know he doesn't. It's going to come in spades here over the next couple minutes. It's already coming, right? You already see where he's screwing up. So, hypotenuse coming down, forming the opposite down to the GP. Geographical position on the Earth. To be a geographical position, it has to be on the Earth. Coming down to this flat baseline. Well, what's he got here? If this is the hypotenuse, where's the opposite? Coming down to the GP, meeting the adjacent? The only possible way, and this is so stupid, I can't even believe I'm doing it. The only possible way is to draw a line down here, a diagonal down here, to meet this fairy tale horizon line from the Dingleberry Earth that they conjured. The only thing he could do is draw a line straight down. This way, right? Not to the Earth, to this line. Not to the GP. But guess what? If he draws any line from his hypotenuse down to this line right here, it's not a 90-degree angle. He'll never get a 90-degree. Ever. And even if I allow him without the 90-degree, his GP is in outer freaking space. It's not on the surface. You freaking retard. You're a retard. Look at this. The angle should be right in here, numpty dipshit. Not on the opposite side of the hypotenuse. In my diagrams here, have you ever seen the elevation angle on the opposite side over here? Let's take a look. Let's go back. See, right? See where the angle is? Is the angle ever over here, the elevation angle? No. Huh. Shocking. No, the elevation angle's not over here. It's right here. You're finished. Dunning-Kruger's blushing. That's how stupid you are. Sir, I want you to bring your dumb ass on this show right now. I'm just going to stomp a mud hole in your ass and then just be done with it. I already did it. Now, I'm going to let Adam, because this is so stupid. I don't really need to let Adam or Brian at you. But I'm going to let Adam speak to this. He may have a couple other points. Him and Brian, I don't see the reason why. Because I just showed in spades, without a reasonable doubt of anything, that you are an abject retard. You pecker-headed, peckerwood, peckerless Petey. Adam, sir, floor is yours.
Cheers, pal. I don't think it's a different point. It's probably a different way of viewing it to address it and describe the mismatch. But before I do that, the first point you addressed, and if you could pull up the original picture for me, that would be really helpful. And that's to say that I think we've talked about it on Flat Earth Debate. What us flat earthers are doing now, which is because we are kind, generous people. In a kind, generous way, we take their nonsensical crap and try our best to actually make it applicable. Now, sometimes when they provide us with nonsensical crap, we may get our understanding of it incorrect. What I would refer to is what this gentleman, Petey, goes to draw the line in, which I think was the actual first point I make, is his zenith supposed to be drawn in? Why wouldn't you draw it in? So we go into that, and I think that appears to be the criticism that we're receiving from Petey, that he's kindly pointing out our misunderstanding of the piece of crap diagram that is easily misconstrued. And he's doing it in a not very polite way, making out that the inability to interpret the piece of crap diagram is in some way based on our retardia, not the creators. So that's the first point, just to address his seeming attack on us. The second point is, if we do take into account, the reason I had an inability to interpret it or got it incorrect as to what the creator was trying to convey in this geometrically incorrect diagram. And why I'm confused is, what the hell is that line looking like that? Because to me, when I first looked at it, it can't be the elevation angle to the star, can it? Look at the diagram we've got, guys.
No.
When we take an elevation angle, we establish our flat plane, and then what do we line the other mirror up to? I'm pretty sure you line it up to the other star, John, don't you?
Yeah.
Where's his elevation angle lined up? The star's to the left, look. Not lined up there. I don't know what that is. It's not lined up to the star.
Yeah.
So that's my misconception. Now, in doing so, this fundamentally demonstrates is how their mathematical model is a lie. It's geometrically incorrect. He's saying that these two parallel lines meet.
What are you talking about? These two parallel lines meet.
He's saying, yeah, in the diagram you can see they're parallel lines. They both go straight up, don't they, off the surface. So in celestial navigation, this is the point of convergence, because this is what you were describing. There isn't a triangle there, okay? And the reason there isn't is because we've got two parallel lines. But they're saying these parallel lines meet at infinity. They don't even meet at infinity. They always stay that far apart. So this is why I struggled with his geometric nonsense that was being portrayed here. But again, this is what they have to do, because the curvature that we see, the angle change, can't be attributed to the sky. They want to attribute it to the surface, even though it's observed in the sky. To do so, look what they have to do. Got to keep the same distance in the sky, yeah, to make it curvy on the flat surface. That's my bit, really. I, again, didn't go any further than that, because it's like, is there a point? So I'm sure Brian chewed it to bits, so I'll hand over to you now, Brian. You're happy with that, Kate?
Thank you, Adam. Yeah, well, I'm actually going on the same point. I'm working off the same point you're making, but I have a few little extras in there. Well, I don't know if you call them extras, but I'm going to go about it slightly different. What is the zenith distance? The zenith distance is your distance between the co-altitude, right? That's your zenith distance, and that is always measured in minutes of degree. And those minutes of degree, one for one, become nautical miles along the surface of the Earth between the observer and the GP of the celestial body. So, what is his zenith distance here? His zenith is, he can't, for a start, his zenith distance, no matter what angle he has, is always going to be the same. Why is it always going to be the same, regardless of what angle he has? Because what I mean by that is that his angle line and the zenith from the GP are never going to meet. They're always going to see, because he is claiming that both those lines are going to the same star, which is, let's say, Polaris, whatever, and it's 300 light years away. So he's adding in a size and a distance to the celestial body. So because he has it, so he's using Polaris, and it's so big in his model and so far away, those lines will always be parallel. So the angle line will never meet the zenith from the GP. So he'll never have a correct co-altitude distance, a correct zenith distance. And it doesn't matter even if he did bring it over to the GP, because then it would change the angle he has and give him a zenith distance, because he already has a zenith distance way bigger like his zenith distance, his quadratute distance is going to be way bigger than the arc that's between the GP and the observer on the surface of his ball. So what's going to happen is if he actually does bring the angle over to meet the other zenith line going up from the GP, then it's going to be way, way bigger. That's why it can never work. They either can't have a zenith distance like he's showing here, or they will have a zenith distance, and both times the zenith distance will never work on the surface as a distance, because the zenith distance will be greater than the distance from the observer to the GP along the surface of the globe.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but he doesn't even have it. He doesn't even have a legitimate elevation angle.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Like he's trying to create an. He's just using a tangent plane. So he's using a flat Earth. That's what he's doing. Like his GP there, the GP zenith has no relevance. That's where it all falls apart. There's no relevance here. Like,
his elevation angle, Bri, yeah, exactly, has no relevance to the thing he's measuring an elevation angle to, as demonstrated in his diagram. His elevation angle is not pointing to the star. Look, pointing at somewhere else, and it has to do that in his mathematical model. But that's the only way you can get a dingleberry hanging off of a tangent plane is to not be pointing at the thing you're pointing at.
Yeah, his zenith distance, right? Even though he can't use the curved surface to create, he's not using the surface of the globe here. He's using a tangent plane, so he's admitting that he cannot use the surface of the sphere he believes he lives on, right? But even if you use what he's using there, right, just hypothetically on paper, right, his zenith distance, his quadratute distance, he doesn't have one here. Well, he does have one, but it doesn't match his angle. And if he does move the angle line over to meet the zenith from the GP, right, either way, right, he's not going to match the surface distance.
Well, he doesn't have a GP. No, he doesn't have a GP. The GP would be in outer space.
Yeah, but he doesn't have he doesn't understand what coaltitude and zenith distance is. He doesn't get this.
That's correct.
He doesn't understand what GP is.
He doesn't understand what elevation angle is. So he doesn't understand anything.
Very little. He actually tried to correct me because I knew what Heimar was trying to do with his two parallel lines, and I stated that in Ballbusters that what he's doing is he's pre-assuming that both those lines are going to the same place, they're staying parallel, and that place is Polaris, which is really, really big and really far away. But that is based on the speed of light, the two-way speed of light calculation. That's where they get that. They can't have Polaris that big in their model without using the two-way speed of light calculation. So the distance requires, the size that they're claiming Polaris is requires the distance of hundreds of light years, and that requires the two-way speed of light calculation.
Oh yeah,
which
but
we know is a load of rubbish.
Yeah, I know, but that's 5,000 leagues down the trail of his dumpster fire. You're right. I'm not saying you're not right. But I'm saying he's dead long before that, correct?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Do we need to go any further? I mean, I've given Peckerhead Petey here more time than I should have. You were dead. As soon as you drew this line on the diagram, you were dead. It was all over for your case. But then you gave us bonus coverage and just started bashing yourself in the face with a spade shovel. With hubris. With hubris. You should listen. Well, not listen. Let's see what he says. Let's put my diagram. So let's take a listen to this. Description. Quantum Eraser, Adam Meakin, Nathan Oakley, Brian's Logic, and pals on Ballbusters are having difficulty trying to understand lines. Really? Talk about clowns. Yeah, you. And train wrecks. Train wrecks. Yeah, yours. None of them understood anything from a drawing somebody called Heimar produced to help them understand how a sextant would work on a globe. If I was them, I would dig a huge hole in the ground, climb in, and hope nobody discovers me for the next 100 years. So this fucking retard has the hubris to talk smack when you'd failed 3rd grade geometry. This is such a convoluted mess that you came in here with. It's a belly laugher. Dunning-Kruger's blushing. You're a fuckwit. Thank you. Anything else?
Well, what I just want to say, what I find funny is he linked Hoymar's appearance on Flat Earth Debate at 1603 because obviously he thinks that Hoymar knows something and he thinks Hoymar had some good points to make. Hoymar was a complete and utter train wreck. Hoymar doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. What I really like about this diagram and the corrections, the added on corrections that Peter made about it, is this is exactly what the globe Earth's claim is. This is what they're trying to claim. So first of all, they need to claim a tangent plane. So that's straight away an admittance that they can't use the curved surface, right, that they're claiming they live on. Secondly, they don't have a co-altitude distance. They don't have anything. So they don't even have, and they don't have a correct GP. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So I really like that he did this because this can be used from here on in on the debates because this is their claim, and this is why it doesn't work.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Adam. Last shots.
No, I think Brian summed it up there to me. I mean, I said what's beautiful is the three of us describe very similar, but we all describe different bits of the way it falls apart in terms of its coherency as an argument. You know, I'm saying parallel lines don't meet. You know, you're saying that where's your triangle, and Brian's doing a lot more detail in terms of actually understanding the mechanics in relation to celestial navigation. But on all of these points, this description falls or lacks. It really lacks a true description matching to reality on the points we say. My point is, it's fine when you push it out to a star to infinity, but let's take the center of the sun. Suddenly it's not working anymore. It's not so easy. Take the moon. It's so nowhere near as easy. It all starts to fall apart. And that's the reality. What they do is they throw these little bits at us. Like I said, they want to argue over these fine nuances. Oh, you don't know where there's anything that I didn't draw in. You know what I mean? And that's the thing they'd love to debate on instead of what we showed here, the fundamental oppositions between its geometry and what we're doing in reality, even to the point that in their diagram, the elevation angle isn't pointing at the star. I mean, that's how ludicrous they've become. For their diagram to work, your elevation angle, your line of sight can't be actually at the star. I'm done.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. We spent probably too much time on this than we should have. We just wanted to show the abject retardedness. He's not the only one. Like Adam said, this is what... I don't want to stereotype all the baltards into one basket, but I've been seeing similar things to what was posted. I've been seeing a lot of this nonsense, dingleberry earth, right? I just friggin' snicker at it and move on. But this isn't too far out of the mainstream, folks, that you'll be getting. So just be prepared. An incoherent second grader can demolish this systematically, just like we just did. It was nothing. This is a belly laugher. All right, we can move on. Yikes.
Can I say one last thing on it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just very, very quickly, I'll make it very brief. The problem we have with or the opposite, we don't have it. It's been put on our doorstep. But the problem our opposition have that they're trying to give to us is that most of them are learning about celestial navigation, not from what 10th Man is presenting on the show for the past year or so. They're learning about it from MC Toon, Pro Cat, the Science Guy, Ruhif. This is where they're learning about it from. So they think they know what they're talking about, and they come at us with diagrams like that. They're so easily debunked using actual celestial navigation practices. Thank you.
Yeah, I spoke to this at the end of FED today. McBooger Eater. This fucking clown, I will guarantee you couldn't spell sextant 4 weeks ago. That's how bad this numpty is. All you got to do is go to my numpty clips. There is a massive numpty clip special on this idiot. He's got everything wrong. Science, simple logic, simple reasoning, geometry, everything. This guy's a joke. I don't even know how he still has a channel. The only way he has a channel after that numpty clip is his subscribers are dumber than he is. And that's a fact. You can't get out. You're guilty. This is just jokes, man. I'm not even going to talk about him anymore. Let's move on. Let's see what Betty's take is on this. She's probably sleeping by now. But Betty.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm reading a super chat.
Oh, you are?
Well, yeah, you got a super chat from Godzilla37, and he says, you don't need a 90 to use a sextant, just like you don't need a measured sphere to pretend you're on a globe.
Yeah, thanks, Godzilla. Appreciate that, sir.
Yeah. Well, I have a picture. If you want to put that one up, where do you want me to put it?
So you got a picture. Put it in the BALLBUSTERS, not the panel chat, but the regular chat.
Here, okay. The panel. Okay, the regular.
You watched the video, Betty? Have you?
No, I didn't send her the video. No.
Okay. I just want to go to an old argument that I got today about something, and I think it has sort of.
Hold on a second, Betty. Let me see if I can't get it. Let
me get it out there so that I just can preface it before we can put the picture up.
Yikes! I already put it out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, I got this argument back in the day from some people about the polar star and how it could only work one way, right? And they don't take into account perspective. And this has cross references with the sextant too, right? Because
yes,
they don't understand how that works, right? They said the polar stars has to be, because they have a thing about, and I forget the latitude and longitude things, which is which. So please forgive me about that.
It's latitudes.
Okay, so the latitude, right, from the middle of the axle, they say, right, would be, and then you see the polar star out there.
No, they don't see it. They don't see it, Betty. Sorry, I didn't. You have to tell me when you want me to post it.
Okay, well, put it on then.
The diagram is up. Go for it.
So what they told me was that these latitude lines were based on the angles to the polar star, right? And they said, well, if the Earth is flat, then the polar star would be at different heights. So there would be not one polar star, but there would be a million polar stars axle of the globe Earth. If you get my meaning, maybe I sort of translate that wrong. But do you get what I mean? So they always had this in a wrong way, and now the sextant sort of helps me out with this argument, right? Because you have to measure the angle to the polar star, right? And then also use another star, and then you can basically see where you are on the Earth, right? It's that easy, but you need a flat plane because it's all about perspective.
Exactly. This is the I want to. When Q was around, I said, yeah, I want to. This is the point. So we when I interrupted 10th today when he was putting the diagrams, and I went, no, I've got an objection to that. The reason is this is what they play on. This differential between your sphere of vision, which builds a sphere, because the way in which you see distance is angular height change in the heavens. And it's this, and what they do here, this diagram's beautiful, because look at this variance of your sphere of vision creates a dome. in the way you see things, and that's what's then being forced onto the ground. So the shape of your vision is forced onto the nature of the ground, which isn't what's happening. But you've got to recognize there is this, it's not a linear relationship. It does bend a little bit, yeah, in terms of, because the further away it gets, the more application to the dominess of your eyes, yeah, is the issue, or the instrument you're using, the lens. And that's what is conflated: optics, perspective, and the nature of the surface, and or convoluted to fit in their model is probably better.
Yeah, and if you just see, if you're on the southern point, right, where it says, I think it says 5 degrees, right, to the polar star. I think you can't see it then, but okay, but
Yeah.
right, because of perspective, because things in the distance tend to disappear. But okay, so you have that, so that's a distance, right, in a way, and so you can make a sort of a rectangle through all these things, right, and then it's how to say that, it's like all these degrees have to do with the distance that you are from the polar star, basically. So it's already in this diagram, it's already clear how the sextant works in a way, right? You just need more stars to pinpoint where you are at on this flat plane, right? Because now you have the polar star, you know a certain distance, a certain angle. You have 2 other stars, and you can make circles, and then you see where they overlap, and then that's where you are, in a way, right? So I don't see why people don't get that, and I knew that with this diagram from the polar star back in the day, but even without knowing the sextant, how it worked.
This demonstrates how position varies, the distance from zenith. These same curves will be created if you pick any other star and move away from it. You get these same non-linear functions, because it's not directly. It's an optical.
Dang, I got you saying non-linear now.
Yeah, in this case, because what you actually see when you plot this is a curve. This is a curve that will come out of these numbers. Which is freaky. The way they've done it is to reposition, to keep it non-curved. The data is to reposition the height of the pole star in terms of the supposed distance. And these are the points, because these are all straw mans in terms of the supposed distance from the pole star in Bogota. To make it 5 degrees, which is visible, you have to bend it, move it.
Yeah, you're just going on and on and on, but the curvature is not linear.
No, curvature isn't. Neither are our eyes.
Right, exactly. You got it. Yep. That's the paradox.
Yeah. This is all measurements from our eyes, the way which our eyes work into the distance, and then we take those numbers and transpose it into the nature of the flat surface we've based these angles off.
Yeah. So Betty, dang, you had some content.
I had this back in the day, right?
You did, and to be honest, she did speak about this way back there. I kind of blew her off a little bit.
Exactly.
Because Betty has a real good understanding, comprehension on perspective. And it's not that I think the perspective arguments aren't good. It's not that. It's just that I'm not proficient enough with them. You know where my proficiency lies. It lies everywhere else than perspective. So I just let Betty do it because she knows a lot more. Her and is it P-Brain?
Yeah, this is a picture from P-Brain.
Is it?
Way, from his videos, yes.
Yeah.
Well, he has a really good way how to visualize it, you know, and that's how I thought it would work, right?
Sure.
And so he has many videos on that, and it's really good because he's maybe the king of perspective, I think, because wow, what he did with his videos.
He was definitely the first one that I heard discuss it. Back there, like I said, back in the day. Not that other people don't know it well. It's just that he stands out. I watched a couple of them. I said, damn, that sounds really good, but I'm not understanding it. I'll move on to what the scientific method is.
Yeah. Well, it's a choice and also where your strength lies, right?
Yes. Yeah. I knew there was something there. I understand. It's not that I'm totally deaf with the subject, but the nuances, right? It takes me a while to get them. I just don't feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, well, they had to sort of ascertain these longitude and latitude lines in a way, right? So I think that already was based on Polaris and the angles.
Oh yeah, Brian smashed this. That's what the whole thing is based on. It's actually based. Brian, I'm not going to take your unless he stepped out on us, but Brian. Yeah, go ahead, Brian. I know you can speak to this.
What do you want me to speak about?
That the whole fairy tale heliocentric Baltard religion basically was birthed with the elevation angles to Polaris.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing about it is you need to to take an elevation angle. What is an elevation angle in celestial navigation? It's a distance from the GP. Yes. So you take an angle to Polaris, and then you move away from Polaris or closer to Polaris. And you take another angle, and that was figured out that it gives you a correct distance as long as you use the unit of nautical miles. Because what you're doing is obviously you're going one for one with your minutes of degree in your co-altitude zenith distance. So they figured out that as you move away from Polaris, you can calculate exactly how far away you are from Polaris, and that allowed them to calculate with the other stars. But they found out with Polaris that once you got to what we call the equator, you were going to be 5,400 nautical minutes of degree away from the GP of Polaris. That meant that you were 5,400 nautical miles. So that's where their dual radii comes from, because they were able to then work off of that by switching the angles. Instead of going to Polaris, they switched the angles then from a central point, making a circle underneath them from a central point, using another right angle, and they brought an angle out to the point on the surface of that circle where the observer would be. So it matches exactly the distance to the GP of Polaris. But they had to back engineer that from the elevation angles to Polaris. So they're both radii, because the globe's radii have to match what we see in the sky. That's the globe's biggest, and has been their biggest weapon or strongest point, is that they can predict what goes on. Well, when I say predict, they can't predict, but I mean, they can show with a globe how the sky could work on a globe, blah, blah, blah. And they needed that because the sky and everything working around them was the most important thing to get right. Once they got that right, they can make up excuses for everything else. So both their radii, both the polar and equatorial radii, have to match what we see in the sky, and they are taken directly off of directly started with and taken directly off of elevation angles to Polaris, because they needed to know the exact distance from Polaris to matches that exact angle, blah blah blah. So that's where that comes from.
Yeah,
and
I knew you were all over that. Thanks, Brian.
I just want to say one other thing, Petey. I am the king of perspective. Not taking that away from P-Brain. He has a bigger channel than me, but I am the king of perspective.
All right. Well, you might be able to fight over that title, I think.
It's how you perceive it.
Yeah. Well, this is it.
Don't let Betty be modest. P-Brain has his expertise in it, but Betty, she's got a really good grasp on it. Take it from me. She's taken me through a number of things that P-Brain didn't do. So don't be so shy there.
He's the way that can visualize it better than I can and explain it better than I can.
Yeah, but that's based on language.
Yeah, also on how you make videos and stuff.
That's true. That's true. And I just want to shout out to Brian because when I went to him, I had a piece of pizza in front of me and he didn't leave me down. Right? Now, I usually do that with Adam, but this time I knew that there was enough meat on the bone that Brian would get me through that whole piece of pizza. I didn't even rush.
You gambled and won. Right?
I did that time. I gambled and won.
I gambled the other way. I thought, I've got time to go. I've got an empty glass of wine here. I thought, have I got time? And I thought, no, probably not. And I would have done. Damn.
Oh boy.
It just on Betty's perspective stuff. You know,
Okay.
It's so important. If I'm measuring something with a ruler, I use the dimensions of the ruler and how a ruler works. But this is all optics. Yeah. And perspective is fundamental. Outside of the lens, perspective is going to apply. The lens tweaks that, but it's always going to apply. Yeah. And people are trying to claim some early credit. I'll take it back to Flat Earth debate. It might not have been as detailed, but it was that recognition of Muppet vision. We can't look at things and just apply the exact same thing. This is backed up if you look at Betty's picture. This is what I wanted to make. We're doing celestial navigation, accurately trying to figure out what we're doing. What we don't do is take anything below 20 degrees. And that's why this is such a straw man for both sides if we try to use it even. Because we have to take into account perspective and the impacts, the effect of and Betty, you can elaborate this, but the doubling up effect. So how you take lines and you move them into the distance to get closer, and that has a massive impact when you're having to the instrument you're using ultimately to measure this is optical. And it's that's why I think celestial navigation has its limitations and states 20 degrees. Because if you're going to be accurate where this thing is...
Slice the pizza. Get it right. A slice.
Yeah. Did he say pizza?
Yeah. I'm not eating anymore, Neil.
It's flat.
I just had one slice.
Pizza.
Just one slice. That's all I needed.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, I was like trying to explain to these ballers how this works, and I said, well, if you have a lamp in your room, right, and you have a really, really big room, and you look at that light, and you back away, you see that light going downwards, right, and the angle towards that lamp is like getting smaller, right, the angle from you.
Yeah, it's getting shallower. Yes, shallow.
Yeah. So that, right, and I said, well, that's how that works with Polaris, right? And eventually, you might not even be able to see that light. The room is big enough, right? If the overspanning is big enough. So you have to see that in big space. But the lamp doesn't move, right? It doesn't positions it in the other way or the other direction. Because then you would not even know where you are if it's all like moving around you, right? You would be like off on everything. And also, what I just remembered was that back in the day, there was a lot of talk about the Gleason map. And I've got one here in my room, hanging here in my room. And that thing had a patent on it where it said basically that if you knew where you were, you could tell the time. And if you knew the time, you could know where you are spaced on the Earth if you knew where the sun and the stars are, right? So it had to do with that. The Gleason map is also a time machine or a distant a space locator, right?
What?
It had a patent.
Is that a Doc Brown map?
Again?
Is it a Doc Brown map?
Doc Brown map?
Doc Brown, yeah. He's a time traveler.
Yeah, well, time and space, God created it, right? Time and space. It all is related to one another, and God made it so that we are able to navigate on this earth, right?
Yep.
How beautiful to do that, with all the seasons and stuff, and all the stars, and they are for signs for times and distances.
Yeah, I agree.
So we are back together to see how beautiful the Creator made this for us. And it doesn't make sense that Polaris is going to be in about, well, how many million years do they say we need for the Polaris not to be Polaris anymore?
Oh, that's
That
preposterous.
they make us believe that there was another star that one in that space.
Yeah.
Were we there then? Did we sort of put that in writing somewhere? I don't think so. Nobody was there then.
No, they just made it up.
Yeah, so that's easy, and the masses trust people that
Yep.
are like so-called learned and have doctor in front of their names, and they say, okay, the doctor says so, or the professor says, and then or the PhD says it, so that must be true, because he was there millions and millions of years ago when Polaris wasn't Polaris, right? Wasn't in the middle.
Yep.
I don't get it.
They got big problems with the pyramids. It's all a convoluted, made-up shit story, and they can pivot. It's a shapeshifter, right?
Yeah.
They go from argument to argument, but they don't keep the necessary antecedents from the previous argument. They switch them all up. They change their axioms.
Well, and if you see doublespeak and doublethink in their own paradigm, no, it's a lie.
Yeah.
Right?
All of
Just
it.
no. All the archaeology, for example, if you have this earth layer, then the pottery must be from that date. But we find pottery, then the earth layer must be from that date. What the huh?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's the circular reasoning that we are in, and nobody was there. And funnily enough, that most of the times all these archaeological findings are sort of based on biblical principles or biblical timeframes.
Yep.
So, but they still want to discriminate the thing, right, that they use to discriminate it with. I mean, it's like nasty, right?
Yep.
It's all denial. It's all rebellion. All the peoples are in basic rebellion. And
From who?
Yeah, the Creator, Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you can't name the man anymore because, well, you sort of get like smacked in the head almost nowadays.
Get a little bit censored.
Absolutely. And people are rebellious, so much rebellious that if you mention just the word God, is like sort of a reverberant silence is going to like be there, right?
But they lose their minds.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you see that they are like basically like little hurt animals that if you try to save them, they will lash out at you, right?
Yeah, yeah. You're
That's
trying
not
to save them from the fire, but they're kicking and spitting at you in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I see them. I see them as hurt animals. Yeah, I'm sorry, but they are lashing at you and calling you names and doing it whatever and bringing up stupid stuff and have to lie about stuff which all against, well, the Ten Commandments, right? And then they are sort of like, yeah, just hurt, and they need to come to the truth before they can even fathom what God has planned for them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. You see, Betty takes this topic and she spins it all the way back around to the root problem.
Yeah. Well, it's right there. And you can see how people act, right?
Sure. Yes.
And what's the root problem? Sin, right?
The root problem is they got to get rid of the Creator.
Yeah, the root problem is that they love their sinful things that they have, right?
Sin.
The lust of the flesh, basically. And that can be like eating, it can be the globe, it can be
Archery.
science.
Archery.
Yeah, absolutely. Although there is some biblical things in there.
Yes, there is. Yeah. Yes, there is. We can connect that. But you make a good point. You just circled back around to the root cause. Somebody asked this the other day. I forget where I was. It was in a VC, and they asked about it. Brian, I see you coming off mute. You want to get involved in this. We're not going to go on for too much longer because I'm not going to, I got all my ducks in a row. Everything's going good. Murphy, you're not out there, man. Don't pay attention. There's nothing to see here. But we're going to wrap it on up. Betty, you got the con?
Well, I thought that you were going to give Brian a chance to respond to this.
I was hoping to get a mute in.
Oh, you'll get a mutant. Don't you worry about it. Brian, go. He's going to start off anyway. Why doesn't he just start off with what his thoughts were on that, and then just wrap it up with his classic channel shout out?
Well, I'm not going to go into all the perspective stuff and all that because Betty knows about all that. But basically, what Betty is saying is that they're godless heathens. Is that it, Betty?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much that's a good description for most of them. Yeah, I sent you a little diagram I made based on that guy's HIMARS diagram in Skype QE. If you want to look at it later, it's a good.
You got me running the Skype. Why don't you put it in here in BALLBUSTERS live stream?
Oh, I will if you want. But
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
BALLBUSTERS live stream right beneath Betty's diagram.
Okay, one moment.
Brian's just like all cares to the wind. I don't care. QE wants to stop this so he doesn't have to technically be jutted out. I'll just go into a whole nother discussion.
Well, he basically said that you could also look at it later, right?
There you got 20 minutes, half an hour discussion on this one.
And then Adam, it's about the Bible and certain scripture.
Yeah, he's going to pull out a scripture here. That's all right. He'll get his mandatory muting.
I'm not going to, because clearly I'm not going to get banned if I do, so I shall not.
You will never get banned. You will be muted, though.
I will reaffirm what Betty said. What they're trying to do is remove the creator from all of this, from the understanding of the creator in everything they do. And that's fundamental for them to get you to believe some of the nonsense that they portray. You know, you need to be insignificant and nothing, and not loved and not special. For their paradigm to work.
Yeah, and why do they want to drag us into that nothingness and nihilism?
Brian just took himself out.
The biggest thing is to reject the spirit, isn't it? That's what they're trying to get you to do. You're doomed if you do that within yourself, aren't you? And Christ states that. And that to me would be what this acceptance of this model is. If you might believe the model, they can get you to deny your connection to the divine through the spirit and say that that's just a hallucination. That would seem where they're leading.
Let me keep you up on the background. Brian is now in live stream. Oop, he just left live stream. He might be coming back in here.
Maybe he clicked on something that he thought that he had to put it there. We have that thing happen to us too.
Negative, never.
Well, maybe we can go for a bit. Brian will be back maybe, and let me see if we can sort of go down the list.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Flat Arthur, are you
awake?
Yeah. What? Yeah, there he is. Hey,
Yeah,
Flat
you
Arthur.
guys, you're about to wrap up, but I had a few questions regarding sextant, but the conversation went in a completely different direction, and
You're really gonna put this up? You're gonna say, "Come on, Murphy. He keeps going. He keeps going. Come on." Thanks, Flat Arthur. Go ahead. What are your questions?
Okay, so one of the super chats kind of addressed this. I just wanted to know, a 90 is not required while using a sextant. So basically the 90 that the globers are talking about is the angle between the horizon and the zenith, right?
Yes, it's not required for the elevation angle itself. You get the elevation angle, right? You have the hypotenuse, and then you have the adjacent. Now, that's all it is with an elevation angle. Hard stop. The next step is to locate your GP. You're going to bring that line from the hypotenuse, that line is called the opposite, down, straight down, vertically down to a 90-degree angle at the GP. Follow?
Yes, I follow.
Yep.
But basically, we always say that the horizon is apparent. So the position of the horizon might change. And also, depending on the observer height where you are standing, it is going to depend how you establish the horizontal line. So I wanted to know, how do we do it while using a sextant?
Yes.
Is it
Yes.
using some
That
level
point,
or
I was going to answer. That point may change. It's apparent. However, that is a horizontal baseline. You following?
so this elevation angle to the same star might change in a couple of hours depending on.
Yes.
Okay, got that.
Okay. All right, Brian.
I live chat for you.
Yeah. Do you know where BALLBUSTERS live stream chat is?
I did put something in somewhere. I'll tell you where I put it now. One moment.
That's helpful. I put it somewhere. Yeah, it's someplace. So, Brian, if you look above this BALLBUSTERS live stream, there is a hashtag BALLBUSTERS live stream chat or text. You'll find Betty's diagram in there. We'll see you in about 30 minutes.
I hope not. Why can't you snatch it from Skype?
If I go in, that puts an extra burden. It gives Murphy more chances to technically eliminate me.
On this. I thought we closed out already.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I got it, Brian. All right, I'll put it 1 second. All right, it is up.
Okay. Why I made this is very simple. Is that I'm asking which one of these lines is the zenith distance, right? Now, a bowler will probably choose whichever line suits them. Right? So say they're going to look for a line that's similar to the distance. They might be similar to the arc distance between the GP and the observer there, right? They're going to try and do something like that. But what they don't realize is because they assert, let's just say you're using Polaris here, because they assert that Polaris is hundreds of claimed light years away, that means that the angle line has to go to Polaris to meet the zenith from their GP.
Yes.
Now, the whole thing is a train wreck, right, what they have here. But the thing is, that means what is their zenith distance then? That's the problem. So which one of these is the zenith distance? The only one that could even be remotely a zenith distance is the black one, because it has to be the widest. So it's like as if their zenith distance is always going to be a ridiculous distance in comparison to their ground distance on their arc distance on their sphere. Because any of those other ones, the green, purple, orange, or blue arrow, they are not zenith distances because they are not between the zeniths. Right. They are from a zenith to the angle line.
Well, they don't even have it. They don't even have it. I understand what you're saying, Brian. Yes. But they don't even have a GP. Using your diagram here, you put that diagonal line, the hypotenuse right there. But their GP is right where the 8,000 is. It's in outer space.
Yeah. I know.
I'd like to add a bit to Brian's side. Thanks for putting the red line in. Now, you look at that red line, and I know you want to move it a lot further away, but this exemplifies my point very well. That red line is now pointing at the star. So suddenly, in the diagram where he drew the angle of 53.8 to translate it to a circumferential figure of 3,000 odd miles, suddenly that angle to translate to 3,000 odd miles, which would be correct, is no longer the correct angle.
Yep.
So it wouldn't translate that through celestial navigation to that distance. So the GP wouldn't be there.
Yep.
This is the maths, the nonsense maths that they put in, and that's why they have to do the diagrams like that. So the first diagram, the angle was probably actually correct. If you actually now draw the line of sight to the thing you're actually pretending the angle relates to, oh dear, it falls apart, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Kitty.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I was just going to say that the angles of degree, using a 90 and angles of degree, can be used in all different ways. But the reason why a 90, like from 90 down to 0, is 5,400 like minutes of degree and 5,400 nautical miles is because it has to match the surface distance. But technically, if we go by this diagram, then the red line is actually going to Polaris, which is, in their claim, hundreds of light years away. Then that makes the zenith distance, like, you can't use nautical miles then along the surface of Earth, because you can still use angle. You can still use that angle thing if you create a tangent plane and blah, 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 and do a lot of other nonsense. But all that doesn't matter, because that makes their zenith distance hundreds and hundreds of light years. You understand?
Yeah. And
what I mean?
And you got the GP. I'm still going with my point here. Their GP, according to this diagram, and it's correct, that red line is the hypotenuse, right? They can't be on the surface of the Earth. They got to have dingleberry Earth. However, their GP is right where that 8,000 is, in outer space. Must be.
Exactly.
Yep, go ahead.
I want to say, and this is, and their GP zenith then is leaning off at an angle, even though it's intersecting at, or it's intersecting on a flat plane. So this is the problem they have. Their angles from the center of their globe nonsense will never ever work, even if they try and use a tangent plane, which is basically what they have to use because they can't use the spherical surface.
Exactly.
Even if they use that, it's all completely bonkers. That's all. It can't work.
Is that the technical term?
Yeah, it is for that. Yes.
All right, Brian. Thank you. Appreciate that. I might save that, by the way.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Yeah, I'll get back to that and save it. Thanks, Brian. All right. Do you want to wait? I got a message. I'm trying to make it snappy, but these guys don't let me make it snappy. All right.
Snappy, snappy, snappy.
All right, Brian. Go ahead. Brian's going to start off. Go ahead. Thoughts, channel shout outs, the classic one from Brian. I can't wait for it. And let's roll.
Okay. Thanks for having me on. I really enjoyed it. This guy to try to have a go at us. He's a complete train wreck, as are the rest of them. My channel is Brian's Logic. You should go there and subscribe, or don't. It's up to yourselves. I don't care. That's the end of that. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Or not.
Yeah, or not.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Betty.
Okay, yeah. Flat Earth was already Flat Earther was already busy with saying something about things, but were some questions. But
we answered one. We answered one question.
Yeah, maybe we can. I think that we will next week. We'll be talking about this as well, right?
You think?
I think it's an endless stories about angles and stuff. Up with news, whatever.
I know that you always look forward to it also.
Yeah. It's already settled for me. So, Flat Earther, you want to do some shout outs? Add some things?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
You good for now? Just hold on. Listen, if you have other questions, go ahead and write them down. And well, no problem. The next time we come on, boom, you can smash us with another question.
Yeah, maybe we should do that earlier then, right? That people can maybe interact earlier. That could be.
You might want to post them. Go ahead, because you and Betty are in cahoots. Or post them to me in a DM. Just post the questions.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Well, I can also involve him earlier in the conversation.
Yes, exactly. We can still involve them. Yes, yeah.
Kind of cordial to not interfere when we are like going at it.
Yes.
So, well, we should give way to people that might be in the wings.
Make
waiting
it
to-
snappy.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Next time you are going to involve you earlier, flat Arthur.
Yes, please don't get annoyed if I jump in.
Good. Okay, we got Mr. Palmer. I have unmuted you. Have anything to say, Ed? Okay, that's very snappy.
Sorry about that. Great chat as
Oh.
always, guys.
What did he say?
He said, "Great show as always." I think.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it was very low for me. So, okay, thank you, Neil from New York. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, you want to add something? Close out.
No, everything's good. I've just been listening. I'm on a job site, so with the
Okay.
guy that pays me right next to me, so it's annoying. Can't talk that much. Yeah, great show.
Thanks, Neil. Okay, we go to Truth Seeker. You've been here patiently all day.
Hey guys, can you guys hear me clearly? By the way.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So great show as always. Shout out to QE. Shout out to Betty. As always for moderating the show. Adam, Brian's Logic, especially to Brian's Logic. There's a lot of videos that he has on there on the sextant, and there's a recent one that he made about the moon shadow as well. It's a very good video. Highly recommend it. Check it out. Really have nothing else to say. The tangent plane is what actually got to me at first when I started looking into the sextant argument. But now it's becoming more and more clear. The more and more clear it is now, the more I see how the sextant is definitely a blow to the whole the whole globe religion.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Keep up the good work, guys.
Yeah, you got it, True Seeker. As soon as they invoke a tangent plane, they conjure it from out of nowhere. That is a tacit, I'm guilty for the fraud of the globe Earth because they need that horizontal plane. Yep, you got it, sir. Go ahead, Betty.
Okay, and we got last but not least, Adam Meekin. And don't bring up scripture.
I just want to say thanks to the Truth Seeker. Thank you.
Adam?
No problem.
Oh, Adam.
He's on mute, but there's nothing happening. Maybe that's the best thing. He muted himself.
You know I'm hovering right over you.
Oh, he's like, okay.
Oh, he's
He
come.
has this-
Yep.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, no. No, I've nothing controversial to add. Other than I will add what Truth Seeker said. Brian's doing some great vids. They get lots of comments from ballers sent to me. Ooh, it's always funny when they start with an ad hom, isn't it? You think, ooh, something good in there then. If they're calling him thick for putting this out. The latest comment, Brian, I will say, was that has Brian suddenly become Sleeping Warrior with regards to moon effects? But on a serious note, go check it out. There's a hell of a lot of quality. Have you heard Brian show tonight? There's a lot of quality detail as he goes through it that really upsets them, and that's why they attack him.
Thank you, Adam.
Oh, don't go and see his channel. I don't care.
Yeah, that's the funny part.
All right. I need to go, so in a couple of minutes myself.
Why?
Because I have an appointment with someone. I
We-
wanna-
What? Well, wait a
Why?
second. We have an appointment for something also.
Yes, but it needs to wait until I get back.
Mm.
I'm sorry, but that has to. Usually you take a break after the shows anyway. Good.
All right.
This
fair-
sounds romantic.
It's not. Shut up, Neil.
It's just a
Not
wrap.
you.
We're
Her
talking
appointment.
about raps. Oh, you're talking about the meeting before our meeting.
No, it's just with my neighbor.
Of course. You think I would say that knowing you're married? Come on.
All right. Fair enough.
No, I'm going to walk with the dog. I need some fresh air after this.
You're gonna romance the dogs.
No, not romance the dog. I just need to walk the dog.
As a matter of fact, I need to apologize to Adam Meekin, because one time I said the milkman has good genes. That was poor taste, and I apologize for that. I don't make jokes like that.
Funny joke. That's what.
No, I don't make jokes like that. I apologize for that.
Well, in British humour, that's perfect. To call you somebody a bastard means you're a good friend in England, mate. So that's probably why a response was never received, because.
It's good to know, bastard.
If you've not seen an old friend for ages, it'd be perfect.
That's funny.
Ow! Oh, how you doing, you old bastard? Long time no see. And that would show great sign of love and respect. So,
Well, we
That was a good one by Betty.
Adam. You sort of gave it away.
So
I don't think I am. I think there's documentation to prove it, but who knows?
Don't
At the time of Benny Hill. Benny Hill wasn't
so what you're saying? So Adam's a fargan bastard.
Even though he's purebred, he's still a bastard.
Complete and utter.
All right, you're really dragging this out, right?
Yeah, he's not. He is, and I need to go. So.
All right.
I'm prepping scripture for next week. I'm prepping scripture. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Okay.
quicker end.
I'm prepping my hover button.
That's what I mean. He just ends things quicker.
All right, guys. I'm gonna end it, Betty. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for a great show, panel. Hope you got a lot out of it. I'm about 15 seconds away from getting away from Murphy. It looks like everything's running really good. So, big up out there from my computer. Hope you got a lot out of it today. We exposed another numpty ball-tard. What's new, right? They don't know what geometry is. They don't know what circles or triangles are. They've convoluted this mess. Third grade geometry graduates are laughing at them. They don't care. They could care less. I don't get it. They're finished. The ball's finished. It's been finished for a number of years now, but it's dead now. We're just laughing at them. So hang in there, guys. We'll see you on the flip side. That'll be next Tuesday. And rock on. I'm out.